City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down, yeah.
I was born in the city, I was raised on its edges. My pop worked his life when it's complex. I found love in its center. If I could live here forever, think it'd be for the better. I love the weather, even though it's fog 24/7. I love the people, this is city. I met all my best friends, and I wanna thank every brick. I wanna thank every entrance to every building that I step in this city of mine. I owe you most my best moments in life. See, I fell in love for the first time in Golden Gate Park. I saw my first rap show at Great American Hall. I used to beg my homies for a ride across the bridge to goof off and spend the whole damn day doing whatever we want. Keith drove us down to Ice Place while we'd roll up a blunt, and me and Jack would get stoned, walk around and get lost. Don't think I'll ever truly...
I have no idea what happened, but we couldn't run with it. I didn't impress anything. Yeah, sucker did that by itself. Well, that's pretty funny. All right, we're going to run with that. Hey, whatever happens, happens. Life happens. That's what it is. Anyway, if you enjoyed your theme song, that means you just got to wait to the end so you can hear it again. So, all right, we're going to dive in today. Couple just basic stuffs to go over. Hold on here. I was in the middle of testing something out and it went psycho. So let me go back and finish doing what I was doing before it decided to do what it was doing, which is borderline hilarious. All right. So let's see. Now when I press this, anyway, just how's everybody doing? Hope everyone's week is doing fantastic. And yeah, now we can go back to here and put it back in live mode and then all is good. All right. So, hey, Mr. Alejandro, I hope you are feeling better, sir. We thought, it was touch and go for a little bit. Anyway, so there's been a couple of things that happened in the party over the last week. Let's see. Drop Squad Lounge. Paul, that reminds me to take out the notebook. Let me grab the notebook real quick. Let's get it. Let's get it. Dude, you guys, this bag right here, this bag is just the truth. I just want to let you know. I use this sucker practically every day on my trip, and it was fanglorious. I am still in the process of putting the studio back together and making some minor changes and updates to everything. So my flow isn't exactly where I want it to be at the moment, but hey, we're getting there. Anyway, a couple of things I wanted to bring to your attention, which is there are some changes that's going on for YouTube. And so we're going to talk about that briefly. And then there are also a new Sony camera we can talk about real quick. I think mostly everybody here is in a position not to have to need it. But if you're thinking about it, let me know in the chat so I know how far to go in on it or not. But yeah, now let me get my Discord people straightened out here. And then boom. Oh, we're in the lounge. In theory, we're supposed to be in the Drop Squad lounge because the Discord conversation during the live stream is for members. So let me drag these people into the other lounge. So just pick Rich up and drop him in there. And then pick up Michelle and drop her in there. And then Keely already ran away because she knows what's up. That was funny. That's absolutely funny. Okay, so now that's where everybody goes. I just enjoyed that. I learned over the week that if you have your Discord server, which you should, make sure you contact Discord for creators and talk to her about getting your Discord together. I just discovered that you can drag people from room to room. I don't know why that is the coolest thing to me, but it's legitimately the coolest thing to me. I think it's dope. What's up, Discord people? Good to see you guys here. Okay, anyway, so real quick on the changes to YouTube. You may or may not have, well, I guess it depends on if you're in the partner program or not. You may or may not have got a letter from YouTube or actually Google saying that your AdSense is changing. Okay, so a lot of people freaked out when they got that because it made it sound like Google was going to close your AdSense account. And that's not actually what happened, right? So basically what happens is they finally, something that I think they should have done a long time ago, they separated your, what's the best way to say it? They separated your AdSense payments for advertisements that you might have on your site with your YouTube AdSense. So a lot of people had like serious conniption friends. Let me log in real quick. And it threw people for a loop. People thought that like they were canceling your account, and no, that wasn't the case. Here's the funny thing. YouTube makes billions off of what we do. They pay out billions off of what we do. They're not going to just wave a wand and screw up their own money. Like, why did everybody immediately go to panic mode when that happened? I mean, like, the victim mentality of it all is pretty funny. Yes, this is me. I'm trying to get in. Thank you, Google, for double checking with the thing. But yeah, it's me. Damn it. Killy, why are you making that face? Okay, just checking. You're making that face like, I want to kill, Doc. All right, let me show you what I'm talking about as I'm getting the heated eyes from Discord. All right, so you see this right here. This is your AdSense payment. And normally, AdSense account rather. And normally over here, you'll see like as we approach the month, you'll see what you've gotten in any ad payments or any super chats or whatever, like that will show up in here. But what they did was they broke it out. So in the past, you would come over here and you would look in your different sections and you would see it. But now what they've added at the very top, there is a thing that says AdSense for YouTube. This is where your YouTube info is as follows. It tells you that, like I've been telling you guys for years, AdSense is effing hot trash. It's money, but it's not a lot. So don't think I need to get to 10,000 subs because I want to get rich making YouTube videos. No, it doesn't work. Like, even I think the last time Gerald Undone showed us what he does, and he has over 100,000 viewers, he gets like $1,200-1,500 a month from the work that he does for his channel. This AdSense is not where it's at, people. But I just wanted to let you know that if you do have this thing and you look into your section and you see that you think your money is missing, you might have to go in and turn on AdSense for YouTube. And once you put in AdSense for YouTube, you can actually see that no, Google is not canceling your Christmas. They're not trying to steal your money. None of the above is as follows. Like, it's just they made changes. And holy crap, I got a lot of overlays in here that are just in the way. Good Lord, I didn't realize there's so many. Ugh, that's nasty. Let me see. If I wanted to go in here and fix this, let's do that, and let's get rid of all of these. Sorry, I'm tweaking out. You know, people, this is what I do sometimes. All right, there you go. So, very important update for everyone not to freak out. It's not like YouTube is going to just snatch all your money and take it away. Like, you know, it's still there. It's just in a different spot. So don't worry about it. Okay, it's just an update. All right. another thing to talk about real quick. We're going to just cover this real fast. Sony did drop a new camera on us. It's the ZV-1F. I believe that the majority of my people are good. You don't necessarily need it unless you're just looking for an additional camera. Fine. But as far as like, I need to run out and buy this right away because it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Not really. But here's the dope part about it. Let me pop over back to this again real quick. And then let's put on a little bubble right here and then hide myself in the corner real fast. Da, 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 da. Bam. Let's make tiny little me. Hey, what's up, me? I'll cover up their support button because you don't need to support. That's what I'm here for. Don't get it twisted. All right. So this is the new camera. Here, let's give Safari some zoom love. All right. So basically, from the ZV-1, it's extremely similar. However, they have made some major updates, which are dope. They made it a wider angle. So now it has a 20 millimeter lens, whereas the previous model was 24 millimeter lens, right? So it is fantastic for that. Michelle, I'm kind of with you. I just don't want to hear nobody saying that I made them get one. I kind of want it because I just want it. But hey, there's just that, right? It also has that 1-inch sensor with the f2 lens, which is going to be good for low light capabilities and things like that. The other big changes is it's lighter than it was before, right? So that's going to give you some love there. What did they do in order to bring it down from $799 to $499? Well, let's talk about that. First of all, they took out the neutral density filter. Half the people that had the original one never read the manual, so they didn't even know that exists. Wait, does this work? No, I need a different. Uh-oh. Nope. There we go. There we go. Now I can get busy. Yes, most of the people that had it never read the manual, so they never knew nothing about the original ND filters, but you had ND filters in the original version. The other things that they did is on the very top, I don't know if you'll see it here. Let me check on these pictures. In the very top, the hot shoe on the previous model used to be a smart one, so you could use something like this. There is no smart hot shoe on the top of this, I don't believe. Let's see this picture here. See, yeah, it looks like a dummy top. It doesn't seem to have the smarts in the top. If you look at your standard Sony cameras, I have one in my bag. Wait, come on. Da, 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 da. It's going to be hard for you guys to see, but let me show you. Focus, camera on. See right here in the top, that little silver sensor? That had, and in the very back corner, which you definitely might not be able to see. Let me see if I can get the right angle. Nope. But up in there, in this portion right here, there's a bunch of gold contacts. And what that is for is it allows you to stick things on this hot shoe that can communicate with the camera. That it's called the, I think they called it an MIC connector. MI something. I forgot what it is. It's multiple interface something connector. So there's one more letter missing. Anyway, that is how, these certain microphones or flashes or other devices that you can stick on top of your camera will communicate with your camera. In order to keep the price down, that has been removed from this particular model. So you won't have some of that same smart action as far as that goes. The side connectors are still gravy. Hey, go backwards. There you go. So you still have a mic input. You have the USB-C, which is dope, and the HDMI micro, which is dope. The USB-C part is fantastic. I'm actually happy that's happened. But for someone looking for a good vlogging camera, like this is pretty dope, right? I do believe also some of the active steady shot has been shrinkified a little bit, so it's not as blessed on the steady shot as it was before. But hey, it's a good camera, right? The slow motion works really good, so that's a thing. It does have the regular active mode, but it's not. They had two forms of active mode the last time. I don't think that this new one has that. So, um, yeah, that's it. I mean, it's a good camera. The ZV-1 is fantastic. I don't think this is going to make it so that you can buy a ZV-1 for cheaper. I think the ZV-1s will still be there, and it might still be slightly considered a higher camera. But you notice here on the microphone how they actually have to have it plugged in. On the original one, there's a shoe, and you wouldn't need that cord. It just works seamlessly. This time, you got to plug it in. Still works as a webcam. Of course, it's Sony, so the autofocus is incredible. And then you have this sort of touch level zoom. Again, removing a couple buttons, you're not going to have a just simple zoom like you had before. And what's really cool is I love that they're showing this finally. It's always been there. It's been there since like the A5100, but people are, I don't know, again, don't read manuals. So they don't know that you can run your Sony cameras off of a portable battery like this. You know, this one pops out of the back of my away suitcase, or even tinier one like this. You can just, you know, stick your camera right on there. We shot tons of videos with that hanging out the side. Very good. I like that they gave you a record timer for the people that complain about that sort of thing. I still do it the hard way. 2, 3, go. So, you know, things like that. And yeah, I mean, Sony being Sony, trying to cut down on their emissions and things like that. So I do believe it is, if you need a camera, it's worth $500. There are some features mentioned that I don't think make a hill of beans for what we do. It will not take as good of pictures as the original ZV-1. However, you got an iPhone 14, so who cares? so there's that. All right, let's see. Does it comes in white? Good question. I wonder. Yes, it does. Good question. Dun, 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 dun. Way to go, Jeej. Look, they even made the tripod in white, Jeej. So now you got to spend another $100 to get the white tripod now to catch it up. You know what I'm saying? And this one looks like white chocolate twist yoga. Because it has the little sideways. Keely is drooling in the Discord, people. Keely's face in the Discord. I don't have it connected, but y'all can't see. She's seen that white tripod, and she went, "Oh, so if I drop it in the snow in Canada, it's lost." What did I just do? Wow, don't do that. I just accidentally pressed the wrong thing. Yeah, so it is kind of dope, but you might not want to drop it in the YKK. I know it's YYC. I know it's YYC. I'm just joking now. At this point, I figured it out. You guys, I'm going to have to connect my Discord up so you can see the faces that Keely makes when I say some stupid shit. There you go. All right. I like the touchscreen and the showcase mode. Yeah, touchscreen is great. You're right. And again, I agree with you, Michelle. Like, I know that some haters, they always come with the sauce. It doesn't have this. It doesn't have. Then don't fucking buy it. It's not for you. Okay? The people who want it, they know what they want. They figured it out, especially if they my people, because we talk about these things and we make sure that they understand what they want. But yeah, it's longer. It is MI, but it was longer than that before. I forgot what it used to be called, but yeah, it is MI. It's the me interface, as we call it. That MI6. Let's see. I have options with the mobile kit, the ZV-1 or the ZV-1F. Yeah. Hey, Buck Nasty. No, it does not come in Buck Blue. Sorry, Tom. It only comes in white and black. But yeah. Right? Tell me that particular joint right there did not look like a yoga pose. I'm just saying. It looks like one of those sideways facing camera. All right. I was watching something the other day, and the person was making Tom jokes, but they weren't good. And I was like, man, Buck would be very upset at this person. Why y'all ain't tell me my glasses is dirty? Good Lord. How the hell you expect someone to see looking out of frames like that? The best lens cleaner in the planet. Man, yeah, there you go. It's ROR, residual oil remover, just in case. Okay. Should always have clean lenses. Anyway, so I don't again, I'm curious if you already checked into it at all, Tom. I'm curious if they sent you a review unit, or are you just going to do what I'm probably going to do and then buy one for review? Simply because it's not that expensive. But again, this might be a good one for me to give to Emma. You know, I think it's a pretty amazing camera. I mean, I love my ZV-1. It's still an incredible camera. I like the size and portability of it. Imagine this being smaller. As a matter of fact, considering I'm never going to use my ZV-1 for the photographic side, and considering I don't really need the other things that the ZV-1 has, it might even be worth selling the ZV-1 and swapping this out, and I'll probably get the pocket like $100. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I got my ZV-1 for like $550. Now that I think about it, I bought it from Best Buy, like open box. So I got my ZV-1 for basically $50 more than this bad boy costs. Now that I think about it, yeah, I think it's an amazing camera for what it is. And oh yeah, there was one other thing I wanted to tell you guys about it that I think is going to be kind of key. Let me see if I can see it on these beauty images. Okay, hold on. Let me pop back over here real quick. It doesn't have the detachable penis lens that the ZV-1 has. When you press go, like turn the camera on, it doesn't grow a camera woody. It just stays the same size. So I think that's also dope, because if you know about the ZV-1, when you turn it on and off, the lens does like a little transformer type move. And for many people, that becomes a problem, right? You see this right here? Like this goes in and out. But on the new camera, it doesn't have the growing woody. It's a single size woody. So this one is white boy all the time. That was a joke. I was waiting for Keely's face. There we go. Now we got it. Or even gangster grandma like that one. So yeah, I think that's a fantastic upgrade in a sense that when I know, like when I had the RX1, which is what the ZV-1 came from, I had an RX1 get knocked off the table and it got stuck with the motor out. And it was super funny. This is the most hilarious thing ever. So at that time, my boy Topher, who works for Sony, his job was to stand in the Best Buy and like stop the Best Buy employees from saying stupid about Sony cameras. So I walk in, I was like, Toph, man, my RX1 fell down yesterday and it got stuck with the lens out. And he was like, oh, let me see. So he takes the camera and he went to go turn it on and slipped out of his hand. He dropped it again. When he dropped it again, the lens went in. And then he turned it on and off. It fixed itself. So it just took another crack on the ground to fix itself, but it just worked. The motors got stuck. So I think that's one of the cool things about this camera is that it doesn't have stuck. All right. Dope question from Todd, who all of a sudden forgot how to put the Q colon first. Merry Christmas, Todd. You're lucky Paul was on the phone. He didn't get a chance to yell at you yet because he's on the Discord over here ordering pizza. He's like, yeah, I'll get a large pepperoni. There you go. There you go. Dang, he quick. He quick with it. He's super quick with it. All right. Todd, this intrigues me, and I think there might have to be a shootout because this is my favorite thing right here. Man, I'm telling you, having the drawers is the best thing ever. You can just grab what you need to grab in just like a matter of seconds. You just know exactly where it is. So you just pull out the little drawer right here, reach in, boom, bam, one of these. Oh, you need one of those little Sony tripods? Open up the drawer, bam, little Sony tripod. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need a 950 battery, bam. Put it, you know what I'm saying? Guys, you need to get your drawers straightened out. Clean your drawers. Anyway, man, my buck jokes are not working as good as Tom today. Anyway, this guy is amazing. This is the OM5. The new OM6 is out, which is even better. But what's crazy, let me get the magnet off. What's crazy is from my initial playing around with just this iPhone 14 and perps, I almost don't even need this anymore because the action mode on here is very good. I mean, like stupid good, right? So, in theory, I think you're right, Todd. There needs to be a shootout between this guy, like the OM6 with an iPhone, and something like the ZV-1F. I think there are huge advantages now with the phone because the phone has brought so many things to the table. However, I don't know, man. I think the sensor size of the ZV-1F should give you a better picture, and there's just some other adjustabilities and things that happen. I guess the last part of it is most people do not walk around with two phones. Well, some people do. Some people are weirdos. But most people don't walk around with two phones, one for the plug and one for the load. So the one time I did travel with just this and the phone, I found myself getting irritated because I got to take my phone off the gimbal to look at the Google Maps to find out where the restaurant is or when the next train was coming or, Google something for the town. So, although the phone is highly capable as a capture device on the road, it's problematic when it's still your phone. Now, if you're going to step backwards and go to like using the iPhone 12, fine, right? If you got an iPhone 14 and you're going to use the iPhone 13, fine. But now, let's get this twisted. It's an iPhone 13 Pro Max. I can sell this bad boy right now without even trying for $900. I could buy two of these for the same amount of money. So in a way, yeah, I think that's a better look. You know what I'm saying? It just is. I guess the last part of it is you're going to put so much more stuff in the phone. And then you only have limited recording. It's not as easy to get the information out. I mean, AirDrop works and there's some other things. But yeah, I still think a real camera is a little bit better than a real camera. You don't see the Bluetooth shooting grip in white. Well, let's put this bad boy on white and then go down to shooting grip. And maybe it ain't came out yet. Let's go back again. I see Gigi got me jumping through hoops out in this street. Let me see. So more specifications. Dun, 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 dun. Design every time. Let's see. Wireless, Bluetooth, shooting grip, and tripod. Tabby tab. White. And there it is. Easy peasy, cover greasy. It just required a little bit of pressing some buttons. I found it. It's probably something that they have like in their Japan action. But there it is. So I don't buy jack from Walmart because they suck. So you just come over here and then paste it here and do one of these and check B&H or something. It might not be shipping just directly, so the ones that are white are probably coming from overseas at the moment. So yeah, I know I see it right here on eBay and Walmart. So more than likely, the version that comes directly from Sony isn't shipping exactly yet. Might ship at the end of October when the camera comes out. Because my guess is the Walmart versions or whatever. Like, see, I see Australia link right here. It's just an overseas maneuver that didn't make it here yet. Oh, but here's Glazer's camera. Let's see what they say. Nope, that's still the black one. All right, yeah. So if you got to order it, go from Walmart. Me personally, I don't order jack from Walmart. I want to punch them in the face. That's it. They're horrible for our country. Let's see. Yeah, having a separate device is easier. Good to see you, Jim. I hope you're feeling better, brother. It is like a super dope webcam. I like that. So, Michelle, get the white version and then get you some acrylic paint and then go to town. Go to town and have it. That would be kind of cool. All right. So I covered that new ZV camera, and I covered the updates in YouTube. Oh, Gigi says, wholeheartedly agree with me about Walmart. Miss Eileen in the Discord, could you mute your mic, please? I think she just did it right when I said it. Get it. All right, perfect. See, quick. How you doing, Miss Eileen? I can see her now doing it. It's good now. It's perfect. It's good. All right. So in class last week, we had some conversations about people sort of finding their purpose and going back in and redefining, because I guess a lot of people are still stuck, or they hadn't really come to the full grips of what their purpose is and things like that, right? So I guess in the process of working it out, I've been trying to figure out if I had any advice or tips that I could help you use to help you get unstuck while you're trying to figure it out, right? So I guess one of the first things, and this is weird because I know you guys probably hear this all the time, where people talk about being present in the moment. And I feel like that's one of those statements that people like myself, coaches, I feel like we tell people this all the time. And I think there's a bunch of people that don't even understand what the hell that means. So I'm going to just use a small sampling from the Discord. Is there anybody over here that when you hear words like be present, you don't really know what that means? Only Aubrey. Is that a joint in your mouth, Aubrey? She can't hear me right now. She has something hanging out her mouth. It looked like, oh, I know what it is. It's Georgia. It's just a piece of grass. How y'all doing? Anyway. Oh, it's a guitar pick. Okay. Sorry, Aubrey. Oh, dang. She busted out her BB King. She's about to get us some tunes, some wicked tunes. I guess the best way to explain it, because, again, I swear I hear people say it, but sometimes I look at people, they go, yeah, but they have that glossed over look when they hear that. So it's about understanding the time, the space, and the circumstance, right? So when you're talking about being present, like showing up to some place and being present, is understanding the time that you're in, the space that you're in, and the circumstance that you're in. And if you're in a full awareness of those things, that's sort of being present, right? And I think that has a lot to do with when you have a vision to change something. A lot of folks look at what's happened to them in the past and try to put that as a filter as to where they're going to go in the future. And that's not helping you, especially if looking at the past requires you to look at some things that you might consider negative. So you look at the future. So if I were to give everybody in this room a brand new camera, there's some people that would go, I can't use this camera. I'm not a tech person. So you immediately effed yourself by letting that verbiage come out of your face. So looking a gift horse in the mouth because of previous experience. Everything is learnable. Everything is F-wittable, as I like to say. Gigi says, I feel people use a lot of buzzwords and buzz phrases as a gimmick with no real meaning behind it. But living in the present does have like a little thing, right? As a teacher who used to say before the test, be here now, a way to focus ourselves. Yes, there you go. I like that. I'm looking for, okay, I take it back. When I'm meditating, I do follow that advice. See, there you go. Here's what's funny. Oh my God, Miss Eileen, you just opened up a can of worms, cousin. Do you guys know where the modern vernacular of meditations come from? Are you guys from anybody in the chat? I'll give y'all a couple seconds while I pull it up because here. There you go. Here it is. I knew it would be on Amazon. You could probably get this for free just by looking around. But the original meditations is from Marcus Aurelius. So what we use in the current vernacular for meditations comes from the master Stoic himself, Marcus Aurelius, right? So he is the one that started this conversation about being present. As a matter of fact, the statements of being present according to your time, space, and circumstances comes exactly from Marcus Aurelius. So I find it funny that in Miss Eileen's comments, whether jocular or not, they're exactly where it comes from. That is the meditations in itself, right? So something that Marcus Aurelius said is, at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for? The things which I was brought into the world to do, or is it what I was created for? Huddle under blankets and stay warm. I mean, that was Marcus, some of the first conversations in meditations about living on purpose. Like in that section of meditations, and again, this was written back when people were made out of stone. I'm joking, get it, the Greek statues, you know what I'm saying? But this is like mad old. And Marcus's point in meditations was like, I gotta get up because I am driven to do what I was born to do. I have to get out of bed because I'm here today to do with the gifts that have been given to me to teach what I was supposed to teach, or grow what I was supposed to grow, or build what I was supposed to build. This is some of the very first conversations written down in stone, I guess, at that point. Do we have paper during Marcus Aurelius? Yeah, we did. My history is messing me up right now. I'm not high enough. But yeah, that was some original conversations about living on purpose. So I know the book is old. There's tons of translations, but you might even want to peep into Meditations, because Marcus is some of the original conversations. I keep calling him Marcus like he my homie. Marcus Aurelius is some of the original conversations about living on purpose. All of your most highly cherished dreams can become a reality as long as you help enough of those around you get to their personal mountaintops. Also, Marcus Aurelius saying to you that if you're living on your purpose and you're helping other people find their purpose and their value, that is how you will win. That is one of the keys to winning, right? So it's like, if you go by the standard Ikigai diagram, right? What do I love? What do the world need? What can I get paid for? You know, that basic sort of situation. It helps you find your passion, your motivation, your vocation, the whole 9 yards. Again, if you guys ever really just need to straight workshop this Ikigai stuff, I'm more than happy to dive in with you, because watching you spin your wheels because you think you have a goal in mind, but you're not working towards your purpose, and it gets you removed from your master goal, I think that is where so many people are getting stuck, right? So it's like, I guess one of the bigger conversations in the process is you have to ask yourself, what do I need to change about my present in order to get to doing what I want to do? I think a large amount of people look externally and they think, and that's funny because I just had this conversation, hey, I need another camera in order to get to that get to. I need another mic in order to get to that get to. I need another light in order to get to that get to. But what is it that you have to change about yourself in order to get to that get to? Right? In conversations at POV and some of the other conferences I get to, we're talking to people, and there's a lot of externality being placed on people's success. Well, the algorithm isn't doing what the algorithm's supposed to do. Is that really why you're not catching what you think you should catch? Have you defined what your success looks like properly? Have you set yourself realistic goals? Have you done anything to change yourself in order to get to the mission that you want to get to? Do you really think it's all on everybody in every external circumstance? I mean, that's a meditation in and of itself. Like, can you go out and list right now of all the things that happened bad today to you, and then really ask yourself, what did you do to put yourself in the position to have that bad thing happen? And that's a hard question, because yes, I know, people, there are certain things that happen that are out of your control. But you know my motto, worry about what I can control and everything else, right? So if externally something's out of your control, that's one thing. But do you ever really take a mirrorful look in and ask yourself, did I set myself up for this that I just ran into? Like, did I do something to either be ill-prepared, ill-studied for? Okay, let's put it in a something that everybody can grasp. Everybody has that one person at work that comes to work late every damn day. And then you ask them, why don't they leave the house 5 minutes earlier? And they say, oh, I can't. Like, no, there's rarely a situation where you can't leave the house 5 minutes earlier. Unless the Demogorgon doesn't let you out of the house or something weird like that. You know what I'm saying? So The bigger takeaway today is while we're trying to work on our purpose is one thing, but you got to remember purpose is meaningless without self-discipline. So at some point in time, we have to look internally and ask ourselves, what am I doing to keep myself where I'm at? Right? Like, who do I need to be in order to become the person that I want to be? Right? So, in the words of Marcus Aurelius again, you must build up your life action by action and be content if each one achieves its goals as far as possible. And no one can keep you from this. Right? So, in other words, you are gaining that feeling, that love, that passion, as people love to throw around. You're gaining that by doing what you're supposed to be doing. Like, you have to physically do the action in order to get to those positive results that you're asking for. And then once you're putting in the action to get to those results, nothing's going to be able to stop you. But if you're still thinking about doing it and you're not putting forth any actions to get to that, you're not going to get there. Right? So the impediment to action advances that action, then what stands in the way becomes the way. Does that make sense? Like, the only way to overcome an obstacle is to basically do something else, do something towards overcoming that obstacle. And eventually, that obstacle just becomes part of the journey, right? The impediment to action causes more action. And then the thing that was in the way becomes the way. So you have to actually do some stuff and not do the Einstein thing of, well, every time I do this type of video, it doesn't get the reaction that I think it was, but I really like making those videos. Guess what? Doesn't matter that you like it. It's not working. So you got to do something else, right? It's a lot. It's a lot, but I think it's important that we process this stuff on a higher level so that we can get started doing what we need to do. Keeley says, jargon is popular because historically, literacy was the biggest barrier to power holders, and they can excuse the masses and accumulate wealth. Yes, I do believe that a lot of things were put into phraseologies and words in order to make it harder for the general populace. It was a way of separating the educated from the non-educated. And even to go as far as to say things like, say a particular culture was more loose with the slang terminology, to say that somehow made them uneducated because their vernacular used a lot of slang. Like, yeah, that kind of BS. To keep things exclusive now, jargon is the only way to serve that function. True. As lawyers, we notice, yes, legalese is very either, what's the word I'm looking for? Vague is important in legalese. And everyone's like, well, it's the letter of the law. Yo, the letter was written in Sharpie so that the ink goes like this, so that they can find ways in and out of certain laws. Certain laws are written vague as possible. My lawyer always tells me that. Thank you, Michelle. I'm with you. I'm doing and growing food at my show. I love this conversation. Thank you. The more time that passes, the more time I realize success is internal and it's something that you got to define yourself. Come on, Buck Nasty. Come on. This is what I'm talking about. You have got to definitely tell yourself what a win looks like to you. And the comparative thing of assuming that the only way that I can get to call myself successful is to do the same thing as Tom. No, that's not going to work. I mean, things are just going to be different between the two of us. It's just what it is. So his level of success might be totally different from mine. Number one, he got extra 30 years of life because I passed those already. So Like there's another big difference right there. Let's see. Obstacles do not block your path, they are the path. Yes. See, it's funny, right? The Zen proverb and the Marcus Aurelius proverb are basically the same because the reality is that's just life. That's what people say. Get it? so, uh, so, so yeah, I think it's an important conversation to have. And I guess the last thing to close this out with is to remember that there's never really an end to this stuff, right? It's a position of evolution, right? You are going to evolve as you grow. This growth is not going to happen overnight. And I know that a lot of people are a lot of people are wanting this to happen overnight, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to require some I hate to say it because we're talking about Marcus Aurelius today. It's going to require some stoicism. It's going to require some get to and put to. Oh, Tom, since you're still here, I wanted to ask you if you've seen this before. Hold on. We talked about this the other day in the chat here, but I wonder if you had an opportunity to see this book before. Hold on. If not, it's worth a read. This book is called The Mountain Is You. It's about transforming self-sabotage into self-mastery. It's by Brianna Weist. And the reason why I said it might be a good book for you, Tom, because I got to a passage we talked about this on Tuesday briefly, and it was about the people who consider themselves over analyzers, and it talks a little bit about the anxiety that comes from this overthinking, over analyzing type situation. And when I got to that portion of the book, it immediately made me think of you because of something that 100% we give you credit for that you've passed already, but the way that you used to let what people would say in the comments just like mess with your whole head and like really get under your skin. When it got to that part, right, of the book, I was like, yo, I gotta send this to Tom. I want him to get to that part. So when you get to, let me tell you, did I keep the exact page number? No, I will tell you exactly the page number. But when you get to the part that talks about how anxiety is basically triggered by logical lapses, I want to know what you think about that section of the book. The book's not very long. I think you'll get through it relatively quickly. How many pages is this bad boy? Does Amazon say? Sure it does. Why do I not? I never really looked at 248 pages. There you go. I never really looked at how many pages the book is. I just read them. Anyway, when you get to that section of the book, I want you to call me and be like, all right, asshole. I get it now. I get it. Because and I got to that section of the book, I don't know why, like I was elucidated by like just a vision of Tom and just having this conversation with you. So I can't wait for you to get to that section of the book. Everybody else, definitely is worth the read. It is available on Kindle and audiobook and paperback. And there's actually a thing. I forgot the name of the plugin, but Gretchen might know. There is a plugin that you can put into your browser that tells you when a book that you're about to buy from Amazon is available at your library. I just found this plugin recently, and I don't remember what it's called, and I don't have it on this computer. It's on my notebook. Have you heard of that plugin before, Gretchen? Oh man, When I find out what it is, I'll tell you. But for those of you guys who might be like, I need to read all this crap, but I don't want to spend money on these books, there's a plugin that would tell you if an Amazon book is available in your library. I thought it was pretty cool. Because yeah, that's, something that comes up with folks.
It's called library extension.
Well, from the voice of God, it's called library extension. Wait, I'm in Safari. The browser that I'm using for this particular shot is Safari, so it doesn't work. But Keel's got the link for you right here, libraryextension.com. So I don't want to hear people say, I don't want to buy another book, this, that, or the next thing. And K-Walk is talking about Libby. Libby is also dope because Libby allows you to get those books from the library to your phone or your iPad or your computer without having the physical book. So you can rent digital copies of the book through Libby. I'm pretty sure she would fail the wine test. Like when they do the test to see how much wine you had, yeah, she can't be a librarian. They're gonna be like, this lady is too preserved to be a librarian. The sky opened and she spoke directly to Doc. Oh, Noah, what's happening, man? It's been a minute. Good to see you here. That's funny. See, that's why you got to have your Discord people right here. It's like the coolest thing about the way I have my stuff set up is I can see Miss Eileen and Keely and Gretchen, Aubrey, Paul, Michelle. They're just hanging out in the Discord. And like Paul said, yeah, Discord is a spiritual, yeah, it's one of those kind of experiences. All right. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that thought again. Remember, couple of things that, again, as you're processing this concept of figuring out your purpose, right? One of the things is understanding that the person you are right now might not be the person you need to be in order to achieve your purpose. And the sooner you can come to grips with that and understand that, you can start making the necessary changes in order to get you there. So what do I have to change about myself in order to be the person that I want to be to deliver my purpose? All right. It could be minor stuff. It could be, I got to get up a little bit earlier. It could be, I got to challenge myself harder, right? Like, for instance, say somebody comes up with a challenge and the challenge is to do X, Y, Z for 7 days. And you know that you can body that. Getting into a challenge that says, I need you to shoot 103 free throws for 7 days in a row, and you already shoot like 75, taking that challenge is freaking useless to you, and you're just not doing anything. So taking that and doubling it, changing it to 200, and then doing it for 7 days, that's actually challenging. So don't accept challenges that don't really challenge you, because you're just wasting your time and more likely the time of the other people who are trying to do the challenge as well, because you will it's hard to say this. In theory, you're thinking that by you showing them how easy it is, you might motivate them. You actually might discourage them. So if you're going to do something challenging, do something challenging. Realize that. You might have to put yourself to a stronger test than you think that you're ready for. Right? Also, remember that purpose is meaningless without self-discipline. So if your goal is to get everybody to have a Discord server, then you have to do something every single day, even when you don't feel like it, to get yourself to that position, right? And maybe that's send out 10 blind emails to creators that you know that said that they want to generate a community but haven't done so yet. Like, if that's the thing, then you're going to have to do that. And sending blind emails uncomfortable? Yes. Is finding 10 people a day that you need to send it to pain in the ass? Yes. But if you want to do what you say you want to do, then you got to do that. I just picked it as an example, Keely. Do not give me those eyes. I seen that. I can see that out the corner of my eye. I can see that slicing look. Like my left arm was getting sore from the eye darts that was coming out of the Discord. I was just using an example, Kills. Back down. Is there any alcohol in that cup? Okay. I know it's close to 5 o'clock in Canada. so yes, it's very important that once you start wrapping your head around what it is you want to do, you might have to do some things and they might be uncomfortable, but that level of self-discipline is going to get you there, right? You watch any Olympic athlete, you watch any boxer, like whatever, like the amount of crap that they got to go through just to go get lickings in the ring, it's a thing, right? So you might have to be uncomfortable for a second. All right. The other thing that I want to close you with that reminder is if what you want to do requires some action, then you're going to have to do that action, right? The impediment to action advances action. So any obstacles actually require you to do more, right? So the impediment to action advances action. I know it sounds weird, but you remember Marcus wrote this crap when people were still made out of stone. So it's different, right? But basically what he's saying is, as you're trying to get to your thing, something gets in your way, you're just going to have to do more to get past it. So the impediment to action advances action, and what stands in the way becomes the way. So that obstacle just becomes part of the journey. So don't freak out when you hit an obstacle. Just do the work to get around it. Like, this stuff is so simple that we've been literally writing about this for thousands of years. Like, it's super funny. In many cultures, in many languages, Chinese proverbs, Japanese proverbs, Korean idioms, like Marcus Aurelius's things, like, yo, it's all been there. You know what I'm saying? When I grew up, Marcus Aurelius was a black kid from Harlem. But we're talking about the OG guy, the guy that wrote the book. All right. I guess the last thing to know is that this one is a little bit on the foo-foo side, but it's a real deal Holyfield thing. Your mind is exactly like this camera. My mind is full frame. Some of y'all is APS-C. But your mind is exactly like this camera. You get whatever you focus on. So if you focus in on problems, you finna get more problems. If you focus on what you define as success, you will get that success. It sounds crazy, but it is what it is. When your mind is focused on problems, they just become problems, right? If your goal is to get somewhere and you say, oh man, we fitting to be 10 minutes late, you're about to be 10 minutes late. But if you say, hey, we're behind, but I know we can make this up, let's get out right now and we'll use this route, this route, this route, this route. We can make up those 10 minutes and we can get to where we got to get when we got to get there. 9 times out of 10, that just works differently. Like, I see obstacles as challenges. I don't see obstacles as stuck. You know what I'm saying? I see obstacles as challenges. Whenever I get a challenge, bring it. Bring it. Yo, I'm about this life. You see what I'm saying? And no, Hank, I don't want to put it directly on law of attraction because law of attraction, it's too easily stated, right? And so people think that they could just think their way through everything, and that doesn't work. Right? I tell my students that law of attraction has one key word in there: action. Law of attraction requires action. You have to have the action part. And everybody forgets these last 6 letters or 7 letters. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The last 6 letters. The last 6 letters in law of attraction is the most important part of it, is you got to actually do some shit. That's the most important part of it. So while I definitely agree in as a man thinketh and, you know, your mind being a camera, things like that, I do agree with that, but it does require some action. You just can't sit there and go, I'm rich, bitch. I'm sorry. That doesn't work, right? That does require you to do, the law of action. That's what I'm speaking of. Yes. Yes. There you go. Yeah. And no, and It's not that it's wrong, Hank. I do believe there's a lot of merits to it, but it does require the action. I think so many people be wanting to skip that, right? I think a lot of people be wanting to skip that part. So anyway, homework for the week is, if you're really curious about some of the stuff I talked about, I would tell you, get The Mountain Is You, start getting into that book. Another thing, you might go all the way back old school and bring out the stone tablets. When Marcus Aurelius wrote those original tablets, Paul sharpened the chisels. So get your meditations. And again, I find it funny as heck that Miss Ali brought up Meditations, because that's actually the book where Marcus penned the majority of the stuff that I talked about today. Check out Meditations. Go back and read it. You can get that joint for free online. It's probably been converted to audiobooks. The book is so old, like it's one of the original books, from back in the day. So, yeah. Thank you, Tom. I'm just curious what you think about it. If you want to book club it, call your mans up. We'll have a conversation, and I appreciate you. It's phenomenal when you leave late. Every light is red. When you leave early, every light is green. I kind of sort of agree with you, Todd, because the thing is, you notice them. If you leave at a normal time and you got time, you don't care, you don't think about it, it doesn't burn in your brain. But when you're late, you notice every single red light. You just do. It is what it is. You notice every single idiot driving slow in front of you. You notice every single person. You notice every single person doing something stupid in the car. All of the above. Paul Duncan moderated the stone tablets when they were handed down. Hey, you guys remember History of the World Part 1? I present you 10 commandments. Yeah, that was Paul. Yo, that's funny. That's funny. Anyway, gang, I hope this helps some of you guys. Yeah, we'll dig deeper, because our homework in class last week was to go and reassess our purpose and, be ready to talk about that. So we will have conversations about this today in class. So I will see you guys in roughly that time. Hey, at exactly 9:12. Man, I told you, Camera Junkie, I keep looking up at the clock and it's 9:12, which is only hilarious because it's my birthday. The tablets without Q colon are forever lost. Yo, I don't know what I did to my hands last night, but they just started peeling really bad. It's so weird. Anyway, gang, I appreciate you guys. It's been a good conversation. Look forward to diving deeper. And yeah, look forward to catching up with my brother Tom to see what he thinks about the book. You guys are rock stars. I will see you guys on Tuesday, and we'll go further, right? Just let me know if you run into any questions, or you're just feeling stuck in finding your purpose, man. We have an entire group of folks that you can talk to help you figure this out. Like, you can just go into the drop squad and then be like, all right, gang, I'm stuck. And a whole bunch of people will go, what do you need? Not going to help you. That's the dope part about our community. So don't feel like you got to do this by yourself, right? You have an entire community of people that want to see you, genuinely want to see you succeed. The only person that's a real hater is Michelle. I'm just joking, because she can't say nothing right now. Anyway, gang, I love you folks. I will see you guys on the flippy side.
City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never